exploded!
There are many calls on the battlefield, yet none so urgent as corpsman up.
Back.
It means a Marine is down.
Give me some air.
I'll never forget it. One of those Marines that was in that Humvee that was blown up. And late at night, we were in the hospital. He said, "Doc, when I saw you coming through the smoke, I knew everything was going to be okay." And that has meant more to me than any award you could ever give me. It was just that one line. Introduce myself. My name is Josh Chiarini, and I'm born and raised here in Rhode Island, and I served in the Navy. I was a Navy corpsman. I was attached to the Marine Corps most of my career because the Marines don't have any medics. I did 3 tours in Iraq with them and a tour in Cuba. I was in from 2000 all the way to 2008 when I medically retired out. And now I'm a firefighter here in the state of Rhode Island.
We kind of just got coffee and chatted like we were friends, and then just dove into some of the most incredible stories I've ever heard, which was a little shocking for me. Like going into this, I was like, that's such a great thing, and I was like kind of self-conscious. I was like, I don't know anything about the military. Like I like hearing about it, and I obviously appreciate it, but
I have zero knowledge of the design world. I didn't really know what to expect. I have zero artistic ability. I can't even draw a stick figure.
Yesterday morning was a great opportunity to get a different perspective on his personal experience serving this country.
I remember the first time I got shot at, I was like, holy smokes, I can't believe this freaking happened. Like the bullets are going by. When they go by your head, they're loud. You're just like, am I really getting shot at right now? Like, is this really happening? Like, it's just not registering, you know? And then you get in the fight, you go back to what you were trained to do. First patient I came across was missing a good part of his arm. You know, I'm like, hey man, you're going home, you're gonna get a Purple Heart, you're gonna get paid for it. You know, just trying to talk to him. And he looks at me, he's like, he had just had this white look on his face. He's like, how long have you been here? I was like, dude, I just got here 3 days ago. And he's like, good luck. I was like, just that look of desperation and fear from me. I was like, what did I get myself into? Like, what is this place, you know? It's nothing you can ever prepare for going to war. Like, I mean, you can do all the training in the world, and there's a lot of things you can't explain. You know, why am I here versus this guy? It just wasn't my time. You know, you're facing the challenges of losses of friends, and then the choices you have to make, you know, split-second life-changing decisions that are gonna affect you for the rest of your life. You know, taking somebody else's life versus, you know, saving somebody's life. Whether it's the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do, it's something you have to live with. One of my first patrols out there, I had my first incident with an improvised explosive device, and we're driving down, and then there was just this massive blinding explosion. I was in the third vehicle, and both 2 front trucks just disappeared in a cloud of smoke. I'll just never forget the voices, like the fear in their voices. Like it was, I still have nightmares about that. Like just the fear of, and the horror in their voice of, you know, this really could be it. And it was like running the longest run of my life. Like I just couldn't get to the truck. It just seemed like no matter how fast I ran, it was just, I couldn't get there. There's no thought process to it. You don't think, you just do what you were trained to do. And my hands just went to work. Like I wasn't thinking about anything. It was just, the training takes over and kicks in. You know, again, a testament to Marines and Americans. They picked me up off the curb and said, you know, let's go, Doc, let's get back to the fight. And mentally, I had a conversation with myself. I was like, either going home in a body bag or you're going home in pieces. And once I came to terms with that, and what was important to me was being there for my Marines. And I knew they would do the same for me.
There's like this kind of moment after hearing all of that and thinking like, how do you represent this?
there's so many stories, you know, what one will relate to the most amount of people, or what is most specific to Josh.
Coming home was just a major challenge. Major things I faced was numbness. It was, we went from fighting to back here in the United States within days. So there was no decompression time.
You literally went from like combat and then like a couple days later back at home with your family.
On American soil. It was so screwed up. And that's why I think a lot of veterans struggle with being home, because you lose your sense of purpose. Again, there, you're relying on so heavily and for so much, and everything's life and death. It's a black and white world. Life is very simple there. You know, you eat, sleep, and fight. And now I'm here, what do I do, you know, back on the stateside? It came down to having to repurpose myself and find another thing in life. You know, life goes on after the war.
You have such a strong sense of purpose when you were over there.
Yes, absolutely.
And that it was a challenge to come back and find that purpose.
Yes.
Back here in the States, but you seem to have found that purpose.
Mm-hmm. For me, it became teaching and helping other vets, and you know, doing the first responder stuff, things that I failed on the battlefields, like learn from my mistakes, and you know, use these things to save your life when you were out working as a police officer. And then eventually I got back into the fire service because I always like helping people, and I love adrenaline, and I don't think I can sit behind a desk.
The biggest thing I like about being a firefighter is being able to help people again, and the brotherhood. It's very similar to the military where you share that bond with the guys you work with and end up closer to these guys than your own family.
When you are teaching new people certain skills, like, are there things that you want them to, like impressions that you want them to take away with?
The big thing that also teaches just remain calm and remain focused. It's easy to say when you're training in a calm environment, is just stay focused on the mission and get back to the basics.
This was so much more personal and immersive, and Josh was so open with his experiences, like sharing so much. And even just the rounds of talking about concept and stuff, he was really open and letting us take our expertise and then sharing all he had.
You know, being in combat and surviving it, it just gave me a different outlook on life. You know, take every opportunity you get. You know, so I got into the flying and, you know, racing the cars and all this other crazy stuff I do. Life's all about opportunity. You know, take those chances, take those risks, because you only get one shot at it, and someday it's going to be over.
What got you into flying?
Yeah, so I got into flying. I brought that up. Longtime friend who was a firefighter as well. He was a hardcore flying fanatic. He took me up for a flight in his airplane. He was like, "Yeah, you should become a pilot." And I was like, you know what? The opportunity presented itself, and I bought his airplane for a great price, and I started flight training. You know, those guys that didn't make it back, you know, live the life that they would have wanted to live, like live it in their memory. When I'm up there in that airplane, it's just a completely freeing environment. Like people like gardening, or that's their, you know, outlet for life. You know, flying has become mine. You get up there in the clouds, there's no cell phones, well, the radio's going once in a while, but you know, I mean, other than that, you're up there flying with my brothers. You know, it's like the guys that never made it back, and it's taking that opportunity in life to have a shot at flying an airplane.
So now we try to take this aviation stuff and bring other vets into it, get other guys flying, and help me out as a vet. So I'm trying to get back to the other vets and things and bring it full circle, essentially.
What I love about you finding this passion after all of this in flying is that it's something that in an explosion, in the smoke, in the cloud of it all, you have to dive right in, and whatever the outcome in that smoke is, you have to find focus.
I like that flying idea. I don't really think of it like that.
Learning to fly.
But then the plane thing starts to like have a few sides that's kind of cool. So I was kind of thinking like the difference between, you know, right and wrong moral compass, and then like the responsibility of that.
Which ones feel like they're stronger than others? Remaining calm and being in the chaos, and then opportunity. Life is an opportunity to find ways to help others.
Everything happens for a reason type thing. You know, I'm kind of big, strong believer in that.
As you know, we worked a little bit last night just trying to like narrow down some things visually for the t-shirts.
I mean, obviously the plane's my future and the other stuff's the
Yeah.
past.
As an idea, like I don't think it's all the way there yet, but I think I like what it is doing.
So I was trying to play with other phrases that were maybe more positive but said the same thing, like adapt once more.
With that, it's like you want to get back to everybody to understand, or like be something for everybody.
I think we still really gravitate to stay in the fight.
I like it.
That's like our motto throughout the class: stay in the fight, stay in the fight, stay in the fight. We bring that up consistently.
Maybe that's an opportunity for the second parter to sound like a take hold action, like stay in the fight so that you can have control over your life, or so that you can live a peaceful life, or you can be at ease.
And that like other side of it could just be like more lighthearted, you know?
Lighter
And
side with light or something.
Yeah,
Like,
and it speaks to like that like military humor and lighthearted nature, you know?
I like that.
What'd you say?
Stay in the fight and then take flight. I really like that.
Write it down.
That was good.
Cause then it's like, there's like the serious tonality of like, stay in the fight, like be present, like do all that you can do. And then there's this like resolve to it. Do you like that?
I like that. That's good.
Yeah?
I like that way that
Yeah,
plays
that's
out.
important.
Yeah, that's very good.
I really like it, because then it's
Yeah.
like, and you're fighting when you're overseas, and then when you come home, you need to find that second purpose, and for you, that's flying.
Yes.
And then you could use it as a t-shirt if you wanted to like take veterans up in the air and be like, you know, like it could be like your tagline. We basically came up with this phrase, stay in the fight, take flight.
So what does stay in the fight mean to me? It means persistence. It means to continue on, and there's going to be good days and bad days, and you know, every human life has challenges, and to just continue on and not get discouraged.
I'm humbled and amazed, and I can't thank you guys enough for doing this 50-state project. It's humbling to me as a vet to see you guys and have the support that you guys have for us and getting out there and trying to tell our stories.
You hear stories and you watch movies, and you just don't realize what people go through.
Like, to see the t-shirt design process was wild as well. To see a story that was told be able to put on paper and into a design that hopefully will inspire somebody else.
Here's the design.
Wow, that's amazing.
We wanted to use like the airplane symbol.
I love it.
And then this other part here, the caduceus, which is like the medical military symbol, I think, right?
I want to get a tattoo of this. This is great. And I hope that shirt will spark some type of interest, or maybe save a veteran's life, give him that thought, or maybe I should stay in the fight. You know, live for today, you know, prepare for tomorrow, and remember yesterday is kind of the way to live by.
Chiarini now wears a silver star for his heroism, and he knows what the medal signifies.
Stay the fight. Take flight.
We do got a 5-4 right here. Oh yeah, it still works.